What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. Today, we're going to be discussing small group personal training programming. And we're going to give you basically lifting the hood up on our programming methods for how we program our small group training program. So, without letting this episode become too much of a fitness episode, we're going to discuss how we program for our clients, how the training works, and all the X and O's. So this way, if you're not doing small group personal training now and you want to implement it into your business, we're going to show you exactly how you should program for it. But Big Jimmy, excited about this one, man. This is like a long time coming. We hinted at this episode, I think like 2 or 3 podcasts ago. So it's here.
Yeah. And I think that it's funny because a lot of people could just listen to this podcast and get a lot of value, because it seems as if, and it's kind of funny to me, and maybe it's funny to Ant too, but I'm getting gym owners reaching out to me lately that are really curious about how we program people at my facility. You know, they learn that it's like, oh, well, this guy has a 7-figure small group facility. How does he program? Like, how does that work? I want to switch to small group from my boot camp. How do I do it? And I'm getting gym owners reaching out to me and like, how do you do it? Do it. And to me, I'm like, it's pretty simple when I think about it. But when I lay it out for them, they're like, oh yeah, that is so simple. Why was I not thinking about it that way? So a lot of coaches think about it in weird ways. I never really understood why, but you know, if you're sitting there right now and you're going, well, we need to have, you know, bench day Monday and deadlift day Tuesday, and Wednesday needs to be, you know, squat or whatever it is. And then how do I make sure that they all get their workouts in? And how do I this and that and the other thing? There's a different way to do it. And it's much more simple.
Yeah, I will tell you, I will want to start this off by saying that workout of the day for small group personal training does not work. I tried that. And again, Jimmy mentioned it perfectly. It's like when we first transitioned from doing one-on-one into small group, we tried, okay, let's do like Mondays are push days, Tuesdays are pull days, Wednesdays are leg days. And it just doesn't work out that way because the client schedules are all over the place. So it's impossible for someone. Let's say someone really wants to focus on their legs, but they're only coming Monday and Thursday. They miss leg day that way in that case. So that's one thing I would definitely say. If you're going to switch to small group personal training, do not do workout of the day. Do not. And also, I will say there is a way to make small group training and programming for small group training not customized. Because coming from me, I went from one-on-one into small group. So I automatically assumed that everybody needed a one-on-one. All right, well, we have to kind of approach one-on-one the same way we would with this. And it's not that way. So you don't have to make a customized program for every person that comes in. That's another just like, do not do.
Right.
So let's get into it, Jimmy. Let's get into the X and O's, man. How do we program for small group? What's the best optimal way to do it and make the most profit doing it?
Yeah. So now I'm going to get a little bit trainery as we jump into this, but so we run what is referred to as linear block periodization, right? And that's what our house programming is. So nobody gets it customized in that sense. They're all running the same general periodization. Now, do you really have to periodize a general fitness client? Probably not. We learn all this periodization in college and afterward because we think that it's really important. And it is to a degree, but your general fitness client, it's not that important that they're periodized where you match their volume and you modify their volume and intensity over time to make sure that they're, you know, getting the optimal hypertrophy response or the optimal strength response from their training. Most of the clients that we train just need to train, right? They just need to get into the gym and move some weights and burn some calories, and they're going to get some benefit from that and move in a way that doesn't injure them. So overarching bird's eye view, we use block linear. Each month is a certain rep range, right? So We go 10, 8, 5, 3, 1. Some of our clients max, some of our clients don't. We talked about this a little bit on a previous episode. If they don't want to max, they just don't even go there, right? So maybe they go to 3 reps, maybe they stop at 5 reps and they work from that. And each month is just a different rep range. So that's the overarching programming, like the periodization of it.
Wait, what were the reps again? I'm sorry, I missed it. You said
So
10?
10, 8, 5, 3, 1.
So we don't go that low. We kind of do the opposite. We're like 15. We've experimented with this. We can come back and forth, but we're like 15, 12, 10, 8, 6.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Like we kind of go down to, we won't go below 6. This
Right.
is what we do. But there's so many different ways to do this. So you guys could take either way. The method is the same though.
It doesn't really matter what the rep range you guys start from is. I think this cycle, because we run them in like 4-month cycles, right? So I think this cycle we're starting at like 15, because my coaches were like, we had a coaches meeting and they're like, let's just give people a lot of reps. And we're like, okay, cool. And we're just going to give people a lot of reps. So we're starting people at 15 this time around. So it's like, you can modify it accordingly. If you don't have a lot of people that, if you have a lot of people in your gym that are like afraid of maxing or they don't want to go that heavy, you could start higher and not go down so low. We have about half of our gym likes to get that max because we kind of have a leaderboard at our gym. It's kind of part of our culture to like see how much weight you can lift and all this kind of stuff. But we also run a 45-minute program. Anthony runs a half-hour program. So like the 45-minute program, it's a lot easier to get maxes in that session. Where when you're running a 30-minute program, it's like you're going to max 1 lift and that's it. So it's like, I understand the differences there. So that's the overarching general thought process periodization wise. Then we want to go down into the actual training sessions, right? And the way we split our training sessions up is our client actually has options. So they can pick or choose which workout they want to do for that day, as long as they get some guidance from their coach that allows them to know what they're doing for that day. So the way that our system operates, client comes into the gym, trainer greets them within 5 seconds of them being in the gym, right? The trainer comes up to them, hey, how's it going? Da, da, da. Oh, what workout did you do last time? Oh, I did the full body workout. Okay, great. So if you did full body last time, and that was yesterday, then today, the best option for you, Mrs. Jones, is the upper body dumbbell station, right? The upper body only dumbbell station. So let's go over there. You're going to be here for today. This is where you're going to work out. You have all your equipment you need in this area. This is the workout for the day for this specific workout program. And this is what you're going to do, right? Or they have some autonomy where they can kind of pick and choose. And they start to learn what they can put back to back, what they have to separate by a day, whatever. And they learn that over time, right? So the options we have for our clients to train with are a full body workout. We have 2 different full body workouts. So we have full body A and full body B. One is squat dominant with horizontal upper body work, horizontal push pull. One is hinge dominant with vertical push pull, right? So if you guys don't understand what that is, you should all understand if you're owning a gym and a trainer and all that. But if you don't understand what that means, one workout is like squat, push-ups, rows. The other workout is some form of deadlift, probably Romanian deadlift, and then or trap bar deadlift, and then pull-ups and overhead presses. And then you have some core work and some additional stuff after that. Maybe some core work and some single leg stuff as well, right? So like that's our full body process, okay? Then we have an upper body bodybuilding workout where it's all dumbbells, just dumbbell work on a bench, incline press, flat press, rows, flies, all that kind of stuff, biceps, triceps. Then we have a workout dedicated that's around the squat, the deadlift, and the bench press. So 3 different workouts there. So we have 6 different workouts that people can select from to kind of choose their own journey, choose their own adventure within our facility. Most of our clients choose full body A, full body B, and bodybuilding, or full body, bodybuilding, and squat. For the most part, that's most of our members do that, right? Some gravitate towards bench. Over time, they gravitate towards bench, and over time, they gravitate towards deadlift. But for the most part, that's what they select. Now, I'd love to hear what Anthony's doing at his facility before we jump into injury concerns and how to modify the training for each individual so it feels customized, because that's the next step that you have to take. But that's the overarching thought process. Block linear, 6 different workouts they can choose from, start to teach them which ones to back in together and how to pick them. And then they'll start to pick them on their own.
So very, very similar to Jimmy. I have the same structure. That block linear is the overall background thing that goes on, right? And then what we do a little bit different, they also have, we've been experimenting with this, but anywhere between 4 and 6 different workouts that they can choose from. And what we do is every month, we basically change the routine, so to say, where we'll change our reps and everything, but we also change the movements. So for this month, we have like arms and abs is one workout, and back and whatever. Like we do all different types of, like, I would say bodybuilding type splits. But what we've started doing, and I think is really cool because people talk about it, and I stole this from CrossFit because I think CrossFit does a great job with doing this, is we started naming the workout something. So we used to just call them upper body, lower body, full body, strength. But now we started calling it things, and we started having a theme for every month and calling it different things. So like for this month, everything is like pump. So it's like arm pump, bum pump for the women, for like the legs, like glutes. I forgot what the other one, pull and pump is another one that we have. Next month, I think we're going to go with like a Marvel theme. So it's like Thor's workout. It'll be like the Hulk, all these different cool things. But basically we just take the same structure and then just make it look pretty for them. But it's been working great because people, they love it. They love it. We had like a hit, I forgot what we called it last month, but it was like a hit workout, and the clients hated it, but loved it at the same time. And they were all talking about this one workout, and we didn't really give it a name. It was just like hit day or something like that. It was like a simple name. So for this one, we said, let's start naming them. So I think by naming them, and then the cool part about this, guys, is that once you have the structure down, for us anyway, what we're going to do is like every January is going to be like this theme. February is this theme. And then all you got to do is just rotate them every year. No one's going to know the difference. So, because all the workouts are going to be different. And remember, if you have 4 to 6 different workouts on there for them to choose for the day, likelihood they're not going to do all of them. We're not going to get to do all of them and won't remember them, especially if they change the following months. So that's the only difference between Jimmy and I. But like I said, I think that CrossFit has that right. We're creating those specific named workouts because people talk about those specific named workouts. And also, who else does this is F45 also does this. I don't think they do it every month, but they have done this where they have like themes for the month. And I think that that's like all these fitness modalities all have something that if you could take like one element of it, I think that there's a lot of things that you could use and make it your own spin. And that's the beautiful part, because your business is so different from everybody else's. But if you put your own spin on these certain things, it makes it very unique to you. And that separates you from everybody else.
That's kind of fun, the naming of the workouts. We never did that.
Yeah, you should, man. I'm telling you, they love it, because then they start like catching on and they're like, oh, like I think we're going to try, I don't know if we're doing it for March or February. I forgot. We talked about it in the last meeting, but we're going to name like the trainers, give it the names. So it's like Anthony's workout, and in it, like it lists what it is, Laura's workout. So then they can start saying like, oh, I did Laura's workout, it was so hard. Or I did Anthony's workout and it was so hard. I think it adds that little bit of like flavor to it.
Yeah, that is kind of fun, right? Maybe we have it as an option in relation to our like main programming. Like we have additional options for it. I don't know.
Well, all you would do is just take your original programming and just rename it. And then every month just change the name. The workout itself doesn't even have to change, but just change the name of it and change like 1 or 2 elements of it.
Yeah, that's funny. We do a little bit of changing of the elements of our training. Just like the auxiliary exercises. So like the squat workout still is like squat is the main thing. But then each month, the auxiliary exercises will change. Like they'll have a different pause tempo, or they'll have like a different split squat variation or something like that. Right. So
yeah, that's what we do too. Same thing.
Yeah.
But now we just change the name of it.
Oh, that's funny. Thor's
Well, we'll
workout.
change the order, man. Like we'll change the order. Like we'll have them do like I said, we'll just take like the bodybuilding workout that you have. We'll take the arms out of that, make it its own thing, and then just push pull kind of thing. But it's
Yeah.
fun. They like it.
Well, variation. I mean, one of the main reasons for those of you listening, main reasons why people leave fitness facilities, especially our kind of facilities where we're like really focused on the strength components. There's other reasons, but one of the reasons that we get that we have control over, guys, is like the staleness of the training. Like people get bored, right? So doing things like this and gamifying it a little bit, making it a little more engaging and a little more fun helps keep people around longer. Even though you may not be one of those people that appreciates the gamification of things. Like, I mean, I'm sure Anthony and I are both very similar on this. We're just like X's and O's, train, go through the suck. I don't care what it's called. I don't care what the workout is. Just like tell me how much volume I need to hit. I'll hit it and I'll continue to push forward to achieve the goal that I have. And you're like that if you're a trainer that became a gym owner. You're probably like that, right? But all the clients we train are not like that. The clients we train, those people need more hand holding. They need more excitement. They need some variation. They need it to be fun. And so things like this make it fun. So continue to think about how you can make it more fun in those avenues. So the only other thing I want to go over is how do we modify the training for injury mechanism or specificity of like mobility and stability concerns with each individual client? And how do you modify that on the fly so that you can actually give somebody something that seems customized when in all reality, it's just that your trainers are trained well. Okay. So the way we structure this at our facility is we have a system that we teach all of our coaches, right? And we call it the five progression system. So each movement pattern has about 5 progressions up or down to get it to a point where you have all these variations in the movement pattern. So if we take the squat, for example, our coaches are trained upon what is like the 0 progression all the way up to the 5 progression of the squat and know what the benchmarks that client needs to hit to be advanced in that movement. So for example, somebody comes in with pre-existing knee issues, they have a little bit of pain in the squat. Well, we're going to have them do a box squat with a very minimal load, and they're going to probably use a band around their knees to get their glutes to fire a little bit more in that squatting pattern so that their knees are less inflamed from it. They're going to get more stability from the hip by putting that band around their knees. And that's like progression 1. Some clients will go back to progression 0, which is they use TRX straps and a box for their squat. So they offload some of their body weight. These are like your morbidly obese clients that maybe have had surgery recently, like that kind of stuff, right? And it goes all the way from there, all the way up to barbell back squat as your final and everything in between. So you're going to have goblet squats, you're going to have safety bar squats, you're going to have variations of the box in terms of like how low the box is when they're squatting, how much load they're going to use. And there's going to be different benchmarks to advance somebody up depending on their injury mechanism, whether they have shoulder issues, lots of shoulder issues, they're going to the safety bar to kind of mitigate some of those shoulder issues because they probably can't get back here to go on a barbell, right? So we have to look at all those things in regards to how we're going to line up those progressions and teach our coaches when it's appropriate to advance a client to a more advanced movement pattern of that same category of movement. But when you're writing your workouts, it just says squat, right? So Mrs. Jones, you're going to teach Mrs. Jones to do a box squat with a 30-pound dumbbell, but Jerry over here is going to be back squatting the 315, right? They're still doing the same workout, but their variation in the movement pattern and the load is different, right? And that's where the personalization, customization comes in and makes it feel like one-on-one training, when in reality, it's just a small group training program that you're modifying as you go, right? So that's my 2 cents on that. We could dive way deep into that because we got it for every movement pattern. but the squat's the best example.
Yeah, and I mean, we do something very, very similar. Again, it's just based on whoever comes in there. That's the issue, is that you never know who you're going to get in there. So in a small group setting, you have to be more aware of who's in there and what their limitations are. I do wish there was an easier way to communicate like things like that, but there's not. We do a lot of communication internally within the team. Like we have our meeting every Tuesday with just the trainers, and then we have our meeting on Friday. And every Tuesday, our meeting on Tuesday is specifically about like movement patterns, clients with injuries, issues, things that's going on with that. So like, for example, Mrs. Jones comes in the morning session. She sees Jimmy, right? So Jimmy sees her, and oh, she had trouble squatting today, so I did this variation with her. Jimmy has to communicate that to the rest of the team. So this way, if Mrs. Jones comes in the afternoon and sees me, that I'm well aware of what she did last time and how to, fix all that and go from there. But that's like a one downfall to it, is this, that when you get to a certain point when there's a lot of clients and you have a lot of different trainers, you need to be able to communicate that stuff. So we have our 2 meetings a week to talk about that. And then we do what we call our daily huddle every day, which is basically just a text message in our group. And we talk about like issues or anything like that subject to be put in there. So like we have one client, for example, she's pretty limited with one of the things she does. So every time she comes into the gym, whoever sees her has to text what she did. So this way, when the next person comes in, they know, okay, she did this last time. Like she won't track this lady. She won't do anything. So she's kind of like one of those clients. It's like, she's really nice, but doesn't follow like the protocol. So we have to make our own protocol. But again, every person's different in that case. But that's the beautiful part. And like Jimmy said, that's what makes it feel like one-on-one.
Exactly. So if you're looking to switch to small group, or I ain't saying switch to small group, it's more like, there's a different word for it. If you're looking to either bolt on small group to your existing program, or if you want to change your model and become a small group program, right? You can reach out to us and we can help you walk through this entire process. But the takeaways from this podcast today, if you're listening to this, and if you listen to this podcast, this is $1 million podcast right here. Because every gym owner that I've talked to recently hammers me about my programming. How do you program it though? How do you program it though? And you're getting in your own way, thinking that the programming has to be a certain way, right? And Anthony and I had conversations about this early on when we had met, about what the programming is supposed to look like, because so many gym owners get it wrong because they're overcomplicating it from a perspective of what they think that needs to happen in the facility. It's more about, what does that client experience look like? So how is it convenient for that person? So the takeaways from this podcast are going to be, use block linear. It's pretty easy. Each month is a different theme. So each month is a different rep range or a different auxiliary exercise or whatever. So on the month, you can just change it, or your manager can just change it. I don't even know what my programming looks like right now in my gym, the house programming, because my team takes care of it and they change it over. Okay. But it follows the cadence of block linear, because I know that that's the best way to get the best result for my clients. Okay. So follows block linear. Have 4 to 6 different options that people can choose from. Start to teach them which option is going to pair best with another, and what the things they need to pick and choose from are to achieve their goals ultimately. And then have a structure in the background that allows you to modify for injury mechanism and communicate with your entire team about what each person needs individually, so you can tailor that training to them. Make sure you have that all in a file that your trainers can just grab if they don't know a client specifically. You can keep this in a CRM. You could keep this in an old paper file like we do at our facility. We just have a paper file of everyone, so we know what their limitations look like. And we talk about each member in our meetings. And then if you want a cherry on top, name your workouts, fund specific things so that your clients are more engaged with them and have more fun in your gym, like Anthony is doing right now. So those are the big takeaways, guys. Got anything else, big man?
No, well put, man. That was good. You actually, I guess that energy drink kicked in, man. That was good. So, so guys, if you're interested in having us help you in any way, just click the links below. We have free trainings in there. You can join our Facebook group, and heck, you can even hop on the phone with us and we can diagnose your business today. So Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier. We are out.